the author of several books, including The Phases of the Moon and What They Mean. The links will be in the description below. She is a spiritual life coach, Reiki master teacher, crystal surgeon, intuitive card reader, and hypnotist. It is my privilege to be with her today. I love you, my good friend. How's it going?
I love you too, girl. It's going great. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for that beautiful
I want
introduction.
to talk about this.
Okay, let's talk
read
about
it, and I love it. And let me tell you what I love about it. I love it that it's so reader friendly. It's not a bunch of technical astrological stuff that you're like, what does that mean? I don't know what any of that is. And I believe you explain it in so elementary that anybody like me can pick it up and enjoy it.
You know, I don't know if this is the only book you read, but I feel like I like to get straight to the point. What we talking about? Let's get into it. Let's make it simple so the people can understand it, comprehend it, and implement it, use it in their everyday lives.
Yes, we're very similar that way. To the point.
Yes, exactly.
So when in this lifetime did you realize that the moon was something more than just something beautiful in the sky?
You know what? You may not believe me, but as a child, I used to just stare up at the sky at night. And I always had like a longing of, I want to go home, but I didn't know where it was coming from. But I always felt connected to the stars, the moon, the night sky. I always have, even as a child. I remember I was probably like 13 or 14, and I was looking up at the sky, at the moon actually, and I asked my cousin Demetrius. I said, "Why do you think we here on this planet?" And he looked at me, and he said, "Bug," because that's what they call me. He said, "Bug, go on with that weird stuff." But I've felt connected since a child.
I think when I asked that question of you, when I wrote it down, I asked myself. And I had to really think too. And I remember looking up at the moon as a child also and just kind of being in wonder of it. But I don't think I got like any real indication of how it affects people until I was older. And then people would start acting crazy around the full moon.
I didn't.
I've had.
Yeah. I don't think I was aware of how it affected people. I just remember, and I was a very dramatic child. So I remember like I would be in the car and I would feel like the moon was following me, right? Because I'm staring at the moon and I'm like, the moon is following me. And I would just get sad. So I was not aware of it affecting me emotionally, but it was affecting me emotionally.
Yeah, that's funny. So tell me about this book. What inspired you? What motivated you? What prompted you to do this and share this book with the world?
Yeah, so my higher self prompted me to write the book. And I'm glad that I did because I know that there are other people who do feel a connection to the moon or who wonder why they feel a connection to the moon. So I wanted to write this book so they'll know the different phases of the moon and not only what they mean, but how they affect you on a physical level, on and on a spiritual level. Because a lot of people probably think they're batshit crazy because they feel like they have a connection to the moon, but they really do.
What's scarier is the people that don't have any idea.
Yeah.
They have no idea.
And once they do actually start, if they ever actually start paying attention to the phases of the moon, they'll notice like the ebbs and the flows that you go through emotionally and spiritually and physically during the different phases.
So how did you come up with the knowledge or the remembrance when you were channeling and putting this information in this book?
You know, I'm gonna be real with you. Every time I sat down to write, I said, Hi, Angelic just got me to write this book. And then I was going to a coffee shop up the street to get in my zone. And I would just be up there for hours writing the book. That's how it flowed through me.
Let me ask, when you write a book, are you typing it on the laptop?
My very first book that I published, I wrote it by hand. And I could have kicked myself in the butt because I had to go back and type everything. So I said I would never do that again. Yes, I typed this one.
That's the generational difference. I still write it out. I still write it out in cursive, and then I have to go type it into Word and do all that.
Yeah, no, I did that first time, and it took me longer to type it up than it took me to actually write the book. And I said, I'm never doing this again.
That's hilarious. So what do you hope for people to get from this book? Because the general knowledge in itself is amazing.
I hope for them to learn how to work with the moons of the cycles of the, I hope for them to learn how to work with the different phases of the moon, because not only is the moon energy just here to, you know, heighten our intuition, but it actually is here to support us in different phases of our own lives. The full moon is excellent for releasing things. The first quarter moon is excellent for planting seeds of intention. And those are my two favorite phases of the moon. But I hope for them to take this and use it when they are setting their goals, and to gain an understanding of why they may be feeling off during this phase of the moon.
I was just going to ask you, which was your favorite phase?
Yeah, those are my two favorite. I love the planting the seeds of intention, because it's like every time one cycle ends and another one begins, it's like, all right, what do I want to put my energy and focus into for this cycle?
Right.
And go ahead. And I love the full moon, because that is when you get to see the fruit of your intention, the fruit of the seed that you planted. And I used to hold on to everything. I mean, 20 years, 20 plus years, I used to hold on to stuff. So once I realized that the full moon could help me in releasing, I take advantage of that every chance I get with the full moon.
Oh, today's a full moon, by the way. Happy seed moon.
I
know. Look how we did that without even paying attention.
I know, right? We didn't never realize it.
So what phase would you tell a person who's never done any of this to start with?
The full moon. It's I think it's the easiest one to track, because it's the easiest one to see and know, oh, the moon is full. And a lot of people are holding on to things that they need to release. So I think that's they're all very powerful, but I think that's the easiest one to start with.
Okay. So how do you see lunar wisdom supporting healing and creative practices? What do you think the moon does to the creative juices to people?
So in different phases, the moon definitely heightens creativity. And in some phases, it's not really a time for you to be as creative, but a time for more integration and resting. So that's why you should get the book so you can follow along with the different phases of the moon, so you'll know when to exert that energy into what, and when you're just kind of going to be spinning your wheels and going in circles, because now is not the time for that.
Yeah. This is a good one. So if the moon could whisper one thing to every reader of your book, what would it say?
Follow me. It will whisper, follow me. Yes. Follow me.
I love
that. Just do it 1 month with intention.
Yeah.
And
just
see
wants you to work
how
with
things,
it.
Yeah. see how things shift for you, see how your energy flows, see how you pick and choose when to do what instead of just going against the grain because you're not even aware of the phases of the moon, or you're not even aware of the phases of the moon or how they can support you. So I would definitely say follow me. It would say
Okay.
follow me.
And how would you say that working consciously now with the moon's energy in the phases has affected your daily life, your spiritual life? Your like, are you teaching your kids how to do this now? Give us some insight.
Yeah, so my kids, they write and burn release letters.
Yay.
I don't really teach them about the other phases of the moon. That's why I said the full moon is the easiest one because it's so simple. A kid can say, "Hey, mommy, it's full moon. Let's burn the letter." Um, but it definitely has helped me to understand when it's time to go and when it's time to pause. Because and I'm still working on the pause and trusting that there is magic happening in that pause. So when it's time to release and let things kind of integrate, I know this is not the time to be starting something new or to try to plant seeds because that time will come back around. So it's helped me to preserve some of my energy, and it's also helped me to kind of track goals. I planted this seed. Let's see what's working. All right, is it time for me to release something or to tweak it? Okay, now it's time for me to let that release and integrate into something new before the cycle starts back over.
And I think that's important that you don't give, especially children, too much information too quickly because, like you said, that's really all they need to know.
Yeah.
The new moon too, because they might think that's trying to manifest what they want, or I want to make the cheerleading team, and you can be like, oh, you can use the moon's energy. That's a good way to motivate. But like you said, we can't give too much information when they're that young. But I love that you're starting them on the right track. My kids are grown and they're like, okay, mom, go do your full moon ceremony. Like they don't want any part of it. But so I'm glad. I wish I had known then what I know now. I would have started them earlier. Hello. Oh my God, that's so funny. That's funny. That's funny. I was like, oh, Elvis wouldn't let us finish. I need to get a good camera, and you look so beautiful and crisp, and like my camera's just my laptop. Okay.
All right. And we are back.
Well, I have to congratulate us both on battling the lower vibrations that have stopped us from trying to do this tonight
They
because
tried to stop us.
We persevered. They didn't get their way, and so I'm super, super grateful to be here with you. Um, I think one more question: how do the phases of the moon affect the human emotions and animal emotions? Actually, how do they affect us?
So you'll notice if you do pay attention that I'm sure you've heard like people get super emotional around a full moon. People just start acting crazy. They get wired or they get overly emotional or they get angry. And then there are different phases where you may feel like you just want to be in solitude. There are phases where you may feel super energetic and you just need somewhere to put this energy. You may need to go outside and move your body, or you may not want to move at all. You may just need to ground yourself to integrate the energy. I'm sorry, to integrate the support of the full moon energy. So it will affect different people in different ways, but for the most part, you'll notice that there are ebbs and flows. Usually, when you are planting a seed of intention, that's when you kind of are introspective and you want to be in solitude. During the full moon, you may feel like super hype and you don't really know how to ground your energy. So, and then after the full moon, during the waning phases, you may feel yourself kind of coming down off that high, and you may get more grounded and you may get back into your head about things, preparing for that cycle to loop back around and for you to experience all over again. So it's very important to know how to work with the phases so you're not unintentionally working against the phases. And then
That's so
things feel
important.
harder. Yeah, things feel harder than they have to be, simply because you're not in alignment with the cycles of the moon.
And I think the average person does not realize that. And they're like, I'm
Yeah.
trying to manifest and I'm trying to manifest. And I'm like, this is the full moon. Like, you know, you need to use the new moon, don't you? You know what I mean? So I think that a lot of people, but like Source has told us before in group channelings, that a full moon, you can use the moon any day of the year and call on its energy and, you know, with intention. However, they're more powerful on those days
Yeah.
when they're going through the phases at different times.
Yeah,
So,
because that energy is literally saying, "Oh yeah, you want this? We're gonna support you because this is what we own too." It's like hopping on the right train instead of hopping on the wrong train. You may get there still, but it won't take you as long. If you are working against the different phases, you'll still get to where you're going, but it's gonna feel like this was a long ride to end up to where I could have been if I just worked with the phases of the moon, with the moon energy.
yes, and we don't need to make anything harder.
No, humaning is gonna be what it's going
No.
to be.
Good times, baby. Good times.
It's gonna be
Well,
hard
I'm so
enough.
grateful that you had me here, and I'm so grateful for this book because I really only ever concentrated on the full moon and the new moon. And now I've got my handy little guide to help me through each phase so that I too can be manifesting and releasing at the appropriate time so that will have the max benefit for me. I mean,
Yeah,
really, why do it any other time, right?
right.
So I'm super excited about this. I've been using this. Everybody should own this book. Even if you're not into it, it can help you learn and understand some things about yourself and your physical that we do go through every month through each phase. And thank you for sharing your wisdom and helping bringing understanding to us in this really user-friendly guide.
Well,
Really.
I'm grateful. I'm happy to be able to share some truth and spread some light.
And I think maybe you might need to make a little pocket guide
Oh,
for
I could
people to
do
take
that.
on the go because I would like to have one in my purse.
That's a good idea. That's a good
Yeah.
idea. So I'll get on the pocket guide, and we need this magic book from you.
So I have another book coming out either at the end of April, early May. It is The White Witch's Guide to Manifestation. Or let me see what it is. I have two, and I'm writing them both at the same time, but they're both 90% done.
Well, good luck with that. I don't know
Yeah.
how you are doing
So
that.
one is on magic and manifestation and the process, and the other is on spiritual protection.
Oh, both of those are truly needed.
Yes. So those will be out soon. And then I'm taking a break.
I don't blame you. You writing two books at one time. My hat's off to you, okay?
And what about you? What's up next for you?
Up next, well, I did just publish Being Black and Spiritual.
Ooh.
That is available on Amazon, as well as The Phases of the Moon and What They Mean. Um, After being Black and spiritual, I'm taking a little break right now to focus on some other projects that I have going on, but I know that there will be another book in the making in no time.
I can't wait. And I've got to now go order the other one so I can read it.
Okay.
All right. Well, I love you. Thank you for having me. I loved it. I loved our talk, and I learned so much from you about the moon and things that I really did not know.
Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And I hope, it doesn't take so long for us to get back together like this.
Oh, yes. And shout out to any viewers, because the White Witch's Guide to Ceremonies and this book right here go beautifully together.
Yeah.
There are extra ceremonies in here to go with the moon and the different ceremonies and all the phases. So you can't go wrong if you get them both.
Right. Well, all right. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for switching roles with me today. I truly appreciate you. Remember, for those of you who are watching, it is your right and your responsibility to create a life that you love, deserve, and desire. Until